Michael Larson did something you might dream of. He found a bug in a TV game show and won big. Even now, people still argue, was he cheating? Michael loved one thing, quick money. He thought the people who honest hard work were fools. Back in the 80s in the US, game shows were everywhere. And Michael? He watched all of them, hunting for his next jackpot. He even bought 3 big TVs and 9 small ones. That can let him watch 12 channels at once. And Press Your Luck offered the biggest cash prizes at the time. So it was Michael's #1 target. One day, while watching reruns, he noticed something strange. So he bought a VCR to tape episodes.
I taped about 5 or 6 shows and then went through them a frame at a time. And I determined that there was some sort of pattern.
After months of studying, he cracked it. Michael told his wife he wanted to get on the show. At first, she didn't believe him, until he borrowed money and actually flew to Los Angeles. In 1984, Michael Larson really appeared on the CBS game show Press Your Luck. The game was pretty simple. It had 2 rounds: answer questions, earn spins, and stop a flashing light on the big board to win prizes, like cash, trips, electronics, or special chances. But if you hit the cartoon character named Whammy, you'd lose everything. The odds of hitting a whammy were about 1 in 6. At the end of your turn, you could pass any remaining spins to another player. The most interesting part was some squares gave you an extra spin. So in theory, you could play forever if you kept hitting them. But no one had ever done it before. Now back to Michael. Even he had fully prepared, but theory and real life don't always match. Michael hit a whammy on his very first spin, but he hadn't won anything yet, so he didn't lose anything either. By the end of round 1, he just got $2,500. But don't worry, all the magic happened in round 2. This time, he earned 7 spins. Then, when the big board started again, he hit 5 prize squares in a row, racking up $18,136. That was already more than average winners ever earned. Because Michael just hit the extra spin again and again, so he just kept going. At this point, he won $36,851, breaking the show's all-time record. Then $50K, $80K. The crowd's going wild, the host freaking out. Nobody's ever seen this before. The other 2 player? Just sitting there. The producers were panicking.
What's wrong with this guy?
They kept checking the system, but nothing's broken. By the time Michael hit 40 spins without a single whammy, he had racked up over $100,000. And he finally decided to stop and pass the remaining 4 spins to the next player. Let me explain. Michael mostly landed on squares with an extra spin, so the next turn didn't use up his original 7 spins. He only used those if he landed on a regular square. All in all, that means out of 40 moves, 37 were on extra spin squares. So could other players be as lucky as Michael? No. So how did Michael avoid the whammy? Michael found the prizes looked random, but they weren't. Slow it down. You can see the patterns always followed a predictable sequence. Most of the time, Michael aimed for these 2 squares. He had figured out the 2 spots never had whammies. And Michael was right. Each of the 18 squares had just 3 possible outcomes, cycling in a fixed order. And only 9 squares ever had a whammy. Square number 4 and 8 only gave out cash and an extra spin. No whammies ever. Statistically, Michael hit square number 4 20 times and square number 8 15 times. But wait, the lights were flashing super fast. So how did Michael manage to stop it exactly where he wanted? Actually, the light followed a set pattern too. It was a bit more complicated, but that didn't stop Michael. For 6 months, Michael wrote the patterns down and memorized them, and practiced his timing by watching reruns and hitting pause when the light landed on a specific square. And here's a fun twist. Have you noticed Michael seemed more fun than the other 2 players? It's not he really liked the game.
I knew I wanted to get on the show very badly, so I freeze-framed the expressions that people did.
But cracking the bug didn't mean Michael could just play without any challenges. The hardest part for him was staying laser-focused, because he still had to make sure he hit the right squares.
I suddenly forgot where the whammies were, so I stopped and passed control of the board to the other players.
In the end, Michael totally spun 47 times and won $110,237. And it only happened in 0.03%. The show's executive producer, Bill Carruthers, regretted letting Michael on. Michael had almost been cut during auditions.
He played the game well, he was smart, he answered the questions, he had a lot of energy, and Bill said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I don't trust him." There's something about him I don't believe in and I don't trust.
But he convinced Bill like,
I'm just a small-town guy. Please give me a chance.
after the show, Michael never told CBS about the bug. But he didn't have to, because they already knew. The board's pattern was limited because of a tight budget. They just assumed nobody would notice. Right after the game, execs of CBS locked themselves in a room, replayed the tape to figure out whether Michael had cheated. Eventually, they noticed this guy had cracked the pattern. See, Michael started celebrating before the space was fully lit.
136 on the line. Stop at $4,000.
But other players would need a second to react. And whenever the light landed a square that might have a whammy, he'd hesitate.
Stop.
A few weeks later, CBS mailed Michael a check. After the scandal, the show reprogrammed the board with 32 pattern, and the control panel was replaced by a PC running a far superior randomizer. But then, CBS got a phone call. It was Michael. He said,
I know you've added patterns to the board, but I bet I can beat you again. How about a tournament of champions?
but that rematch never happened. So what happened to Michael after Press Your Luck? He kept chasing fast money. At the end of 1984, a local radio ran a contest. They'd read a serial number on air every day, and if you had a $1 cash with that exact number, you'd win $30,000. Michael withdrew $100,000 in $1 bills immediately, trying to find a match. But he didn't win. He redeposited about half and kept the rest. But the cash was stolen while he and his wife were out at a party. Michael suspected the wife had something to do with it, so they broke up very soon. Then Michael using the rest money to invest real estate, but lost it all within 2 years. Michael eventually got a job as an assistant manager at a Walmart in Ohio. But the
Pay was low. I must quit now.
Then he started a company called Pleasure Time Incorporated and selling fake shares, American Indian Lottery. By the mid-90s, Michael had scammed 20,000 investors with $3 million. When the FBI started looking for him, he fled and disappeared. No one knew where he went. Then in February 1999, Michael Larson died of throat cancer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe me. I'll post more cool videos.